My family abandoned me at a boarding school right before New Year because I refused to use the college fund my grandpa saved for me to pay for my sister's tuition. The next day, they saw me on TV as the winner of $5 million. Suddenly, they remembered I existed and showed up at my door. Mom said, "Sweetheart, it was a mistake." I just smiled and said, "My name is Caleb. I'm 17, oldest kid, designated fixer, background extra in my own family's movie. I bust tables and run plates at a diner off Route 19. I smell like coffee and fryer oil most nights, and I don't mind. Tips pay for my bus pass, phone bill, and the little stash I keep in a cracked shoe box under my bed. People say I'm quiet. I'm not. I've just learned that words cost more in my house than cash. At home, it's always been Hannah in the spotlight. She's 15, pretty, loud in a ways called spark. Mom calls her our future. Dad calls her worth every sacrifice. I'm reliable, which sounds like praise until you hear it for the 400th time and realize it means you can give up what's yours and not complain. Grandpa saved for me. Not a fairy tale, just a steady drip. Every birthday, he'd slip me a folded envelope and say, "Not for snacks, kiddo. For college." He died last year, and the fund he'd grown, small to most people, huge to me, was all that made me feel like I had a lane out. I counted it sometimes when I couldn't sleep. $38,210. The number lived in my head like a prayer. I learned to move quiet. Get up at 5, prep eggs at the diner before school, squeeze homework on milk crates in the back during the dead hour between lunch and the dinner rush. Teachers liked me because I said I'd do the work and then did it. My friends liked me because I never made things a contest. The only time I raised my voice was at tournaments when I reffed the younger kids' soccer games. Whistle. Hand up. Call it clean. No drama. So, when Mom texted, "Family talk tonight. 7 p.m. sharp." I thought it was about the New Year's plans or Hannah's latest rehearsal. I walked in still in my apron, smelling like pancakes. Dad was at the table with a stack of papers, highlighter marks everywhere like he'd been studying for an exam. Hannah had her chin in her hands, theatrical sigh on repeat. Mom had that soft smile, the one she uses before she asks for something big. "Caleb," Dad said, tapping the papers. "We need to be practical." That word practical was the first trigger. I untied my apron and Saturday. "Okay." Hannah rolled her eyes. "Don't be weird about it." Mom laid her hand on mine. "Sweetheart, you know we all sacrifice for family, right?" I said. "Grandpa loved you." Dad added. "He would want you to share." "Share what?" I asked even though I knew. Hannah sighed again louder. "My tuition, obviously." Mom nodded like it was already settled. "We found a perfect boarding program for her. Arts and academic excellence, full-year residential. They've accepted her mid-year. We just need to finalize payment before New Year's." Dad slid a figure across the table. $18,900 for the spring semester. "I have school." I said my own. "Community college can wait." Dad said you'll be fine. Hannah tilted her head. "You're good at waiting." Mom squeezed my hand. "Say yes, honey." Nobody asked me how I'd feel losing my one sure thing. Nobody said this is unfair to you. They just washed my face like I was a vending machine they'd fed exact change into and were waiting for the soda to drop. I didn't say yes. Hannah's lip curled. He's being dramatic." Dad frowned. "Don't make this ugly, Caleb." Mom's smile thinned. "We've already told the school." The room went quiet except for the clock. A cheap one that clicks too loud. Somewhere I could hear the neighbor's TV, a laugh track bubbling through thin walls. "Grandpa, save that for me," I said. My voice wasn't loud. It didn't shake. "I'm not paying Hannah's tuition with it." Mom's fingers went cold on mine. Dad leaned back, jaw tight. "We'll revisit this," Hannah muttered. "Selfish." Later that night, I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling crack that splits above my desk like a lightning strike. The house felt too small for the conversation we hadn't finished. I could hear Hannah on FaceTime selling a story where I was the villain. I stared at my phone. 7 unread messages from my manager about the holiday schedule. One from Mom. "We'll talk in the morning." I watched the dot blink as she typed again, then stop, then start, then nothing. In the morning, Dad's car keys jingled like a warning bell. I pulled on my hoodie and went to the kitchen. He didn't look at me. "Get ready," he said. "We're taking you to school first." "School's closed." "Winter break," I said. He grabbed his coat. "Not yours." They drove me out of town, past the outlet mall and the shuttered skating rink, past the billboard that says, "Believe in your future," like it's selling toothpaste. I watched the trees turn to stone buildings, old bricks, manicured hedges. The sign read, St. Leon's Preparatory Winter Residency. Mom smiled at the banner flapping in the wind. Welcome, winter scholars. It's nicer than your school, she said as if that was comfort. You'll stay here until classes resume January 8th. I stared. You're leaving me here? Dad pulled up to the curb. We asked for a short stay, he said. Structure will be good for you. Good for me or good for the plan where you use my fund? I asked. Hannah blew a gum bubble. It popped. Don't be a martyr. Well, sort your paperwork after New Year's paperwork, I repeated. Mom lifted a folder. A transfer community to St. Leon's midyear. It's the right move. Your college fund can cover the differential while we redirect the larger portion to Hannah's tuition. You'll be fine, Caleb. It's just math. Grandpa's name is on that account, I said. Dad's eyes went hard. Our names are on the custodial rights. There it was, the lever. We hauled my duffel onto a marble-floored lobby that smelled like lemon polish and new beginnings. Kids rolled in suitcases. Dad shook hands. Moms pointed at bulletin boards. A receptionist in a navy blazer typed my name and slid a key card across the desk. Dormk, room 214, she said. Welcome to St. Leon's. I looked at my parents. This is a punishment, I said. Mom exhaled like I was being silly. It's a reset. Dad checked his watch. We need to get Hannah to her tour. You're leaving me here, I repeated. Stop making this about you, Mom said softly. Hannah put her sunglasses on inside the building. Grow up. They hugged me quick. The kind of hug that never really lands. Dad's cologne. Mom's powdery perfume. Hannah's fake vanilla lip balm. Sensory snapshot I already hated. Then they were gone. The door hissed, closed behind them. I carried my bag up 2 flights and let myself into 214. 2 twin beds, 2 desks, a window looking out at bare trees, and a stone chapel. One bed had a navy comforter neatly folded. A sticky note on the desk. Hey, I'm Liam. I'm back on the 29th. Check the board for snack hours. I sat on the empty bed and stared at the wall. I could feel the silence pushing at my ears. My phone buzzed. A group chat from the diner. Caleb, you good for the New Year's brunch shift? We need you, please. Everyone's bailing. I thumbed back. Maybe I'm locked at school. Long story. When I was little, I used to believe if I worked hard and stayed kind, life would meet me halfway. The past year taught me different. People take what you don't defend. I thought that and then thought, God, that sounds bitter. I didn't want to be bitter. I wanted to be fair. My roommate walked in later. Liam, tall, easy grin. He tossed his bag, clocked my face, and didn't do the fake cheer. They drop you? He asked like he'd seen it before. Before New Year, I said. Tough, he said. He pointed at the window. Chapel has hot cocoa at 9 o'clock. It's weirdly decent. We walked in the cold under strings of white lights. I told him the short version. He listened, didn't interrupt, didn't offer a script. When I finished, he said, You're not crazy. People think family means unlimited credit. Back in the room, I counted the fund number in my head again to calm down. 38,210. I could hear Grandpa in memory. The way he whispered to me in the garage when he was teaching me to sand a board. You don't have to be loud to be sure, kid. The next day, Mom texted a photo of Hannah on a staircase at a school with columns. Isn't she glowing? I didn't reply. Dad sent a spreadsheet. He actually did. A breakdown. Spring Hannah, 18,900. Caleb to St. Leon's differential 3,400 remaining 15,910 to hold. Summer music intensive for Hannah 6,200 fall TBD. The subject line said family plan. I stared at it until the numbers swam. I called Mom. She picked up on the second ring. Sweetheart, she sang. No, I said silence. To what? She asked lightly. All of it. I said no transfers, no family plan. Grandpa left that fund for me. Grandpa left it to the family, she said. He told me to my face it was mine for college. I said he wrote my name on the envelope. She switched tactics fast like a car lane change. Fine, she said. If we can't agree, we'll protect Hannah first. You can stay at St. Leon's until the 10th. Rethink, then we'll pick you up. You mean you'll leave me here for the holiday? I said, I mean you'll have time to stop being impulsive. That night, I worked dish duty for campus events to get out of my head. Scrape, rinse, rack, repeat. The clatter masked the looping thoughts. On break, I called the bank, asked questions I was scared to ask. The woman on the line spoke gently. As a minor, Yes, your parents are custodians, but there are rules. If the funds aren't used for your benefit, you can contest. It's messy. Document everything. I told myself it was all written down. Dates, quotes in my phone notes. Dad, we'll redirect the bigger portion to Hannah. Mom, you'll be fine. The screenshot of the spreadsheet, the message where Mom said, we've already told the school. On December 30th, the campus lit sparklers early for the kids still stuck there. I stood in the cold watching the sparks fade to ash when my phone buzzed again. The diner manager. New Year's Day live TV segment. Breakfast special with the local station. They wanted a student worker and it paid double. You in, he wrote. I laughed once, the sound sharp in the air. I'm literally locked on campus, I texted back. Then Liam mentioned that St. Leon's was hosting a scholarship show the next day, the YouthWorks program filming live in the auditorium. They give huge grants, he said. I thought about the diner's free pancakes on snow days, the people who came just to warm up, the shelf of gloves and hats I'd built from lost and found and thrift finds because no one's fingers should burn in January. The night manager once told me, you turned our shelf into a system, kid. The flyer said application deadline. December 31st, 10 a.m. I have 9 hours, I said. The next morning, I borrowed Liam's iron for my only good shirt and ran to the auditorium with a milk crate of proof, photos, a scribbled budget, and a plastic bag of thrift store hats still with tags. The hall buzzed with lights and cables. A woman with a clipboard eyed my crate and said, you look real. Name, Caleb, from the diner on 19. Got a guardian here? She asked. I showed her the permission slip the dorm supervisor wrote in 5 minutes. He's in the back. She nodded, pinned a number on me. You're third. Backstage, I practiced simple sentences, no metaphors. We serve pancakes. We built a shelf. We track sizes. We partnered with Mrs. Alvarez's class who knits hats. We want to expand to more diners and 2 schools. We need a van, a freezer that doesn't die in cold weather, and a boring but reliable inventory system. When they called my name, I stepped into the lights and rows of strangers. My family wasn't there. They were touring some campus with columns. What's your project? The host asked. Warm hands, full plates, I said. No one leaves cold. No one leaves hungry. I showed the hats, the shelf photos, the numbers, how $200 stretched to hundreds of items. I explained exactly where $50,000 would go and what we could do with more. The judges asked questions. I answered. One joked I sounded like someone who knows their register counts. I'm a waiter, I said, and sometimes a dishwasher. They laughed kindly, and I felt the click when a story lands. Later, they called us back out. The host spoke in TV voice, dragged out the pause. This year's YouthWorks Grand Award. $5 million, placed in a trust, with a stipend until the winner turns 18. He read my name. Everything blurred. Confetti, handshakes, cameras. How do you feel, Caleb? Then the number flashed on the screen like a scoreboard. Somewhere at home, TVs were on for holiday cooking, and my family saw my face. My phone exploded, 12 missed calls, then 29, then 51. Mom, Dad, Hannah, call us right now. We're so proud. We're outside. I walked to the dorm. The air felt different. Want me to stall them? Liam asked. No, I said. I've got it. In the lobby, Mom rushed forward like in a reunion movie. Sweetheart, it was a mistake. I stepped back. No, Mom. That was a choice. Dad's face reddened. Don't be ungrateful. We came straight here when we saw you. Hannah smiled like it was a PR moment. You look cute. So we should talk plans. My palms went cold, then steady. Grandpa's voice in my head. Go slow. Make sure it's closure, not revenge. This is closure, I said evenly. They stalled like someone cut the sound. Mom stuttered, then said I misunderstood. They weren't taking all of it. Just helping Hannah because she's so talented. You were taking enough that I'd have to rebuild everything, I said. Dad jabbed a finger. Don't talk to your mother like that. Like what? Like I have boundaries. Don't be dramatic. You left me here for the holiday because I said no. I said. That's not drama. That's a date-stamped choice. Mom grabbed for my sleeve. We'll fix this. Come home. We'll start fresh. As a family. The $5 million isn't ours, I said. It's for the project. It's in a trust. You won't be custodians. I held up the dean's letter naming him as my adult contact. How the program protects kids from parents who remember them only when money flashes on TV. Hannah scoffed. Relax. No one's robbing you. You asked me for $18,900 2 nights ago, I said. She flushed. That's different. Because it's me, I said. Dad crossed his arms. We gave you everything. You gave me a ride here, I said. Then you left. Mom softened into her practiced voice. We were overwhelmed. We made a bad call. Please come home. Your grandfather would want us together. I didn't say Grandpa would want them nowhere near what he saved for me. Instead, if you want to celebrate, come to the diner tomorrow. We're doing free breakfast. You can pour coffee, bus tables, say welcome in without making it about you. Dad looked offended. We don't do charity stunts. It's not a stunt, I said. It's my life. Mom tried one last time. We can't leave empty. At least tell us Hannah's plan. She'll lose her spot. There are state schools, scholarships, time, I said. She's 15. Hannah's eyes watered in that practiced way. You're ruining my future. I'm protecting mine, I said. Mr. Kenny, the dorm supervisor, stepped forward, calm, solid. Everything okay? We're fine, Dad said. We're done, I said. Mom sagged. Please. I shook my head. Not today. They left quietly, deflated, leaving cologne in the air and a trail of texts. 67 missed calls, 14 voicemails, 39 messages, photos of Hannah looking tragic, a car selfie from Mom captioned, "We love you. You'll regret this." I flipped my phone over and went for cocoa. The next day at the diner, TV trucks rolled up like it was planned. Mrs. Patel cried seeing the first release from the trust, not a pile of cash, but a careful system, quarterly checks, oversight, paperwork, guardrails, someone believing in the small, not the flashy. We sorted gloves by size, hats by color. A cameraman asked for a soundbite. I said I'd rather pour coffee, so he filmed my hands. Around noon, the door chimed, and my family walked in like a storm you see forming miles away. Coats still on, looking around like we'd trapped them. Hi, I said. Mom stepped forward. We're here, she said like it was a favor. You want a table? I asked. Dad bristled. We're not here to eat. You're in a restaurant, I said. Sit or wait outside. Mrs. Patel slid beside me, steady as ever. Welcome in, she told them. Exactly the same way she said it to everyone that I met my family at the diner where I work. And even though they tried to pull me back home, I told them my quiet life with my own key card was fine. They thought my boundaries were attitude. I told them they were survival. After they left a $20 like a favor, I kept living my rhythm, school meetings, planning the youth program, working shifts, sleeping like a real person, checking my phone on my own terms. The money wasn't mine. It was for the work, and staying boring kept it safe. Dad eventually came to the diner and tried helping. Mom came later and wiped menus. It wasn't a movie-style fix. There were still manipulative texts, silence, Hannah's posts. But I wrote my rules. No giving from fear. No loans to people who twist my no. No repeating boundaries. Keep receipts. Choose my generosity. Grandpa's note saying, Caleb, college, became my anchor. The fun stayed intact. The van arrived. More diners opened. And I learned the difference between a mistake and a choice. When we finally sat down again, I told them I loved them but wouldn't be their emergency fund, their excuse, or their proof of goodness. Only their son if they let me be a person. I'm 17, a waiter, the kid left at boarding school for saying no, and the kid who learned that yes means nothing if your no isn't real. I don't owe anyone a version of me that bleeds. I owe my future the steadiness of trusting what I'm building.